What would compel you to leave your home, your family, and all you know for a new life in a new land? For some it might be the promise of work, for others the hope of freedom from religious or political persecution. Those who chose to settle in Minnesota brought their hopes and dreams, as well as material goods. Looking at what people brought with them can help us to understand why they left home. For many coming to Minnesota in the 1800s, the promise was land to farm and to homestead. Failed crops and rising taxes forced hundreds and thousands of farmers off their lands throughout Europe in the mid-1800s. Minnesota became the destination for tens of thousands of farmers from Ireland, Germany, Norway, and Sweden. The plow was an essential tool for preparing land for farming, and many immigrants to Minnesota brought their plows with them. This plow was handmade in Sweden and brought to Minnesota by the Johnson family in 1890. As lands were cleared and homesteads established, immigrant families put to work items they had used in their home country for maintaining a household. This cutting tool was brought from Sweden to St. Paul to cut up blocks of sugar into cubes. This spinning wheel was brought to Minnesota from Norway to make clothes on a farm in Waseca County. Lars Anderson made this herb grinder in his native Sweden and brought it with him when he immigrated to Minnesota in 1905. In the mid-1800s, many Europeans who worked with their hands found themselves out of work due to the invention of labor-saving machines. Many of these artisans established successful businesses in Minnesota. Swedish immigrant Carl Johnson used these tools as a shoemaker in St. Paul. Mary Miller brought this pillow from Austria to practice her trade as a lace maker. In addition to the practical things needed to establish a new life, immigrants also brought personal items which served as reminders of family, friends, and cultural traditions. Photographs were the most typical way to remember loved ones. But in the 1800s, it was also common for people to braid a necklace, bracelet, or watch chain from their hair to give to family members as a keepsake. This story cloth, made in a Thailand refugee camp, depicts the Laotian Civil War, which forced many Hmong people to flee their homes after the Vietnam War. It is a bittersweet reminder of the difficult circumstances which sometimes brought immigrants to Minnesota. Other items reflect happier memories, like this Swedish decorative plate, or this grinder used to prepare kibbeh, a traditional Lebanese dish made from wheat and ground meat. Want to explore your family's journey to Minnesota? Go to www.mnhs.org and click on the Family History page to get started. For the Minnesota Historical Society, I'm Adam Scher.